Does the arrival of a senior Israeli delegation in Doha indicate a potential breakthrough in ceasefire negotiations?
The technical team of Israel talks about 90% of the deal being completed, and the Palestinian part of Hamas, there is progressive and development of this deal. But since we've seen in May up till now, once the technical team reach an understanding and through the voting or signatory by Israel, something new would happen. Despite the last only 4 hours, there was a direct intervention of the new president, elect President Donald Trump, to pressure to execute the deal. The pressure was of two sides to push forward, and from the other side is threatened of the hell upon taking office on 20th of January, i.e. that the international pressures and indicators lead to make the deal, and only a few details will left may relate to the next day after the war, not through the exchange of prisoners and humanitarian aid. Hebrew media talked about individual meeting made by the Prime Minister along with the ministers of the cabinet in a bid to unify their positions and to execute the deal that many are hopeful from the Gazan and longing for following 15 months of the continued military operation upon the sector and the shortage of food and medicine in the Gaza Strip.
How might the involvement of the United States negotiators influence the progress of these talks?
We were always, and whoever is having the pressure key of executing the deal is the United States of America. And I think that the serious intervention of Donald Trump into making this deal in order to remove the political obstacles before this technical delegation, I think that the impact will be towards to make the deal as soon as possible, and that we might see within 2 to 3 days crowned by the U.S. efforts. And I think that the other party, if the America and the Trump mindset to execute the deal through the negotiation, will be imposed forcibly.
Okay, what are the immediate humanitarian consequences of the intensified Israeli bombardment across Gaza, especially in refugee camps, Dr. Rateeba?
The humanitarian situation in the Gaza Strip isn't in the agenda of the Israeli and American administrations. The U.S. administration is looking forward to release the hostages as Israeli prisoners holding the American nationality weren't released in the first phase of the exchange of releases in the first 50 days of the war. Even several foreign nationals were released. So this issue for the USA is most important is to deliver the humanitarian aid in the Gaza Strip, despite the issue of humanitarian crisis the whole world is talking about that makes the world line up of what's happening in the Gaza Strip that we've never seen in the modern history, a humanitarian crisis that is intensified as it happens in Gaza Strip. And this even would affect the image of USA as well as Israel that had become facing a moral crisis in the world as a result of the deterioration of the humanitarian crisis in the Gaza Strip.
How have restrictions on Palestinian movement in the West Bank including the detention of children, impacted daily life and regional stability, and is this acceptable?
In the Gaza Strip, we are facing a daily detainees and interventions of the first A-class zones that is under the Palestinian Authority that exceeded 18,000 of detainees since the 7th of October. Deterioration of infrastructure, camps and invasion of all the cities. This is not unacceptable. That would go in line of the attacks of settlers trespassing the agricultural field of the Palestinian people, making what is named the yield settlements in the Gaza Strip, and they never hesitate to use the weapons provided by the Minister of the Internal Security, Ben Gvir, that exceeded 27,000 of pieces of guns since the 7th of October up till now.
Okay, Dr. Rateeba, that was a member of the Political Bureau of the FIDA Party and Secretariat of the National Action Committee in Jerusalem, Rateeba Alnatsheh. Thank you very much for your valuable knowledge and insights.